speaking of the technology, because like I said, there's loads of intact UFOs at this place, and he was brought in as a propulsion expert, and these crafts that he was working on were reactionless field propulsion, right? Now, a quick and very brief physics lesson. Propulsion, right? Basically, everything we have throws shit out the back to push it forward. That's propulsion in a nutshell. Yeah. Not going to bore you with the ins and outs because I don't understand it. But basic is, like a jet engine, push out the back, you go forward. These are reactionless field propulsion, right? What it does, and I'll have an analogy for it as well.
If you let
this technology,
if you let things go behind you, you can then move forward in life.
That's it.
That
is beautiful. Off the dome.
There you go. Sorry.
We're not even doing segments today. It's the best off the dome you've had. That's cool. So basically, these crafts, these reactors, they create a distortion in space and time in front of it where space actually bends. Now, to get your head around this, Bob says it like this. He says, put a bowling ball in the middle of your bed and then a foot in front of it, push your fist down into the mattress, and the bowling ball will fall into the space you've created.
Got ya.
So these craft, they aren't flying. They're literally falling through space because they're creating a gravitational space distortion in front, so the ship just falls into it. And that is how that technology works, but we don't understand how it creates its own gravitational pull or how it creates its own gravity. So it says here there was a reactor that powered one of the spacecraft that literally had an invisible force field around it, right? So you physically could not touch it and with your bare hand. And it felt like, when you try to put two of the same end of a magnet together and that just doesn't work. Imagine that, but you're trying to put your hand on it and it doesn't work. Now, obviously, there's no metal in your hand or nothing magnetized, so it shouldn't do that.
But
and that's why Bob was just like, there is just categorically no fucking way this technology is from this planet. Because we just can't do that. That's so. It's not even like, the Russians are 10 years ahead. That's like fucking millions of years. Like, we're so beyond us. And he also, actually, no, I'll finish this and I'll get to that. So this technology is absolutely insane, right? Can't touch it, creates a force field. So then you have to think about the implications of this, because it's like the oil industry is obsolete because that's used for propulsion. Force fields on tanks or any of your artillery, military, whatever. So the first person to crack this shit, you basically have an unbeatable army. So you can essentially take over the fucking world, right? And that's why he thinks this technology is not presented to us and why they're keeping it so under wraps. And that this is Bob's point, right? Is, I'll tell you what, fucking just off tangent. Ben's cable management has ripped the fuck out of the bottom of this mic. I'm so scared. But yeah, so Bob's point, he doesn't really give a shit about aliens.
Yeah.
He's not interested in UFOs. He thinks it's a fucking crime that this technology is kept from us because it would propel us so far forward as a species, because there'd be no need for any jet propulsion, no need, in theory, for any like pollution because of, how this shit works. And the impact on technology, if we could understand it and utilize it, would be absolutely massive.
Is that why it's being kept away from us, though? Because the governments and stuff make so much money. Is it more profitable
exactly.
for the governments
I think so.
to keep the technology away?
Definitely. Because you just gotta look at renewable energy and how good that is, but then all the oil industry would go under.
Because like I say, they're like, gas prices are going up. There's no other ways for us to...
it's not the same with gravity prices, is it?
Yeah, they're just charging us for stuff that doesn't necessarily, if it is true.
Yeah,
the price of gravity's gone up, isn't it?
Elon Musk,
and they own all the energy companies and the whole wars are basically made out of fucking oil and stuff, and it's like, are we just being so small-minded and we're being
I think
trapped
so.
in this world that
Yeah, I definitely.
everything that's put in front of us is just to blind side us from actually all this technology and stuff that they've got. They're actually, the aliens are trying to
help us
give
along.
it to us,
Yeah.
and the government keep fucking hiding it.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, why don't really? If aliens are real, why are the government trying to keep it from us?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would.
Yeah, well, one of the explanations, because obviously it's all theories, but one of the explanations Bob thought perhaps is because basically what he found when he was working at S4 was no one had a fucking clue what to do with this technology, right? Yep. And he was like, imagine that, you vote into power leaders to lead you, and you think in your head like, they understand, they know, certainly pre-COVID, because obviously the pandemic. I don't know any, I don't want to get political or anything like that, but like...
Fuck it, let's get political. I don't mind.
It's like, obviously, this was kind of unprecedented.
Okay.
And who's to say, Labour would have done better or Lib Dems or whoever, So I don't envy anyone that was in the position to have to try and guide us through this pandemic.
They're all scum.
Yeah. But my point that I'm getting to is... And when this podcast was done was pre-COVID, which is important to say. So basically, you think... you elect these leaders and they lead you and they know what, they're there to be solid and to know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is with this stuff, they didn't have a fucking clue. And so imagine them being like, yeah, so aliens are out there. They've got insane technology and we don't actually understand how the fuck it works. There'd be no confidence in the leaders and he thinks the whole political system would just
But then
crumble,
they have put stuff out.
I think it could do with.
They have put stuff out. I don't think it. I actually don't think people would care that much.
I don't. I don't now. I think
you'd feel so out of control that you just don't care.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
But
I feel like that with the world now. Sometimes I'm like, it's so out of my hands that I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what goes on in the news because I can't do anything.
Yeah, I don't watch the news.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't watch it either. It's so like if they said aliens are out there, what do you want me to go and watch them? Like, just crack on with life, don't you? You just have to get on with it.
Crack on.
And really, you think they would say, if they were real, they would say that they are, because like when they have to get rid of people, Mr. Epstein, they had to get rid of him.
Yeah. Blame the aliens. Fucking hell.
Yeah. It's actually a good way to like. We can't do nothing about that. Alien got him.
Yeah.
And people would just be like, yeah, because they, all these things. It's like they're trying to cover up, and it's like we don't know it was the Russians and all this stuff. They could just be like, it's just aliens.
Yeah.
So actually,
went up.
Boris and who's the other one? Joe. Is it Biden? Joe Biden. Is it Joe?
Yeah.
What a weird name, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
All the Joes
just for
out
a
there.
president. Joe. Joe, fucking Joseph the carpenter. Great. Fits.
Oh yeah, he's a top geezer.
Joe the president.
Yeah.
Doesn't go.
Yo, Joey.
I see some clips about him, man. Fucking hell, he doesn't seem the most.
Oh, Biden. Yeah. He is funny. I don't understand a word of what he's saying.
Just goes on. Right, yeah.
He's very like Mickey Rourke.
I don't think it's all there.
He's like a more composed Mickey Rourke, but it has the same like.
Yeah,
less gravelly.
If I was in control, I would use the alien thing to my advantage. I'd be like, they're all out there and they're just killing people.